Spring is one of the most challenging times of the year to renovate a lawn. However, it's also one of the most popular. It's one of the most common times of the year for anyone out there to change their lawn in a dramatic way. One of the main reasons why spring is so difficult to do a major lawn renovation has to do with dormant grass. If you live in a cool season lawn territory, then that means in the months of February, March, and maybe the early April, you've got a lot of grass that is dormant, even though there is a lot of sun in the sky. If you live in a southern climate, it might be warm enough to step outside in a t-shirt like you see me here, but warm season grasses don't tend to green up and start growing vigorously until soil temperatures get up into the 60s. That could mean that your daytime air temperatures need to be close to 80 degrees. Last season, I took on a lawn renovation project. I've called it Phil's Lawn. I've documented the vast majority of everything I did to that lawn here on this channel. In the description below is a link to the entire playlist. But before I took that project on, I had to take the preliminary steps to actually bring the lawn completely out of dormancy. Only when the lawn is completely out of dormancy can weeds be killed and grass be killed. Some of you watching this have no interest in killing the lawn in total, but many of the weeds that are in that lawn are not going to be growing when the grass is dormant. If you are looking to do a complete kill and reseed of your lawn, this is going to apply pretty much any time of the year. For grass to be out of dormancy, it has to have enough warmth, it needs to have enough sun, and it needs to have enough water. If you're looking at the end of summer, you might have dormancy due to drought and heat stress. You cannot kill off the underground root system of grass that has gone into dormancy mode to protect itself. The techniques that I'm going to talk about in this video have everything to do with preparing your lawn for the renovation. And in many cases, that means pampering your lawn to make it its healthiest, the greenest and healthiest it could possibly be before you start killing it off, reseeding it, leveling, or whatever it is that you need to get done. For the remainder of this video, I want to show you my process in preparing Phil's lawn for a spring renovation. The majority of the work that I did was in February and March. There was a lot of days of nothing. A lot of days of waiting. If you do happen to be doing a lawn renovation in May or June, you might have a much shorter lead in to your project because almost all grasses everywhere are going to be fully alive and growing in the months of May and June.
This is my friend Phil and his wife Dana. I like them and all, but I don't like going over to their house all the time and seeing their really bland yard. I told Phil that if he didn't fix the yard and make it look better, I was just gonna go over there and kill it off myself. Of course I'd regrow it, and of course he said, yeah, do it. I don't wanna do it myself. Most people think that killing off a lawn and completely starting over from scratch is way too much work. And although there is some work involved and some time involved, it's not that big of a deal. So long as you know the steps to take and how long to wait in between those steps, just about anyone can do it.
Yeah, so what I plan on doing is I'm going to kill everything off, and then I'm going to replant some new stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because this old stuff sucks.
Yeah.
I had a friend tell me how much it sucks, so I was like, you know what? I'm embarrassing myself right now with these dandelions. I got to get new stuff.
Look at that, it's like a spring lawn already. Not bad. Yeah, it'll be fun to kill it and all the bugs too.
Alright, I'll get out of your way so you can film.
Oh, I'm done. That's it. Because I offered them free labor, they happily accepted. Now before I actually do anything to their lawn, we gotta cover a couple basic things right off the bat. To kill off a lawn, you have to do it when the lawn is not dormant. Now, we're starting this project in February when lawns everywhere really are still dormant, including my own lawn that I'm sitting on and my friend's lawn. For most people, killing off the lawn means waiting until spring actually starts, April, May, something like that. Some people choose to kill off a lawn at the end of summer, going into fall. But for our project, we'd like to have this lawn fully renovated before spring comes to an end. That way they can enjoy their new lawn for the majority of the year. And that also means for us to accomplish that, we have to wake the lawn up from dormancy a little bit earlier than is natural. We have to fake spring in the middle of the winter. The reason for this is because the non-selective herbicides that we're going to be using to kill off the existing vegetation, we're talking about the grass and the weeds and whatnot, it doesn't work properly if the plant is dormant. When you spray herbicides onto the plant, it gets absorbed into the leaf tissue and then circulates throughout the whole plant. But if the foliar canopy of the grass and whatever weeds are in your lawn, if they're dormant, then they're not going to be absorbing material. It's kind of like how we don't fertilize in the middle of the winter. It just doesn't work. Now, additionally, killing everything off implies that we're going to be removing a whole bunch of old organic material, grasses and weeds and whatever lawn debris happens to be under your grass but on top of the soil. Once you go to put seed down, you don't want to put it on old dead grass. You want to put it on the actual dirt. So I highly advise fully cleaning up the yard before you even start the process. That means cutting everything way back down, dethatching a little bit to get as much of the debris out of the ground, out of the canopy as possible. Because once we go and kill everything off, then we're going to have to do the whole process again. So to start this project off, I'm going to use my Sunjo dethatcher. Now I have other dethatchers, and you could do a manual dethatcher. You could go rent one from your local tool rental. But we're going to go ahead and take this over the yard and pull up as much debris as we possibly can.
All right, now after you go over the lawn once, which is what I just did one direction on the main lawn. And you're going to go perpendicular to kind of fluff things up in both directions. You're going to get twice as much material off. Already I've got like 2 bags worth of stuff, and there's tons still on the ground to scoop up. I'll probably get most of that with the bagging mower after I finish the runs with the dethatcher. After finishing the main lawn, I'm going to do the parkway strip here. And then over here, I'm going to do this little area around the play structure.
Now the dethatcher is also going to kind of fluff the grass, the dormant grass blades up a little bit. So once we get all the debris removed, then we're going to go ahead and take our bagging mower and cut it as low as humanly possible, as low as the mower will take it.
All right, after running a double pass on everything, there's still a lot of debris to pick up. Let me show you the lawn, what it looks like now. This is after bagging a lot of it with the actual dethatcher machine. There's still chunks of everything, but you'll see that our after winter grass is actually really starting to stand up now. So I'm going to take the mower over it with the bagger. We're going to cut as low as possible and bag whatever we can.
A little bit later on, we might even take a reel mower over the top of the whole thing to get it even lower. The whole point of this is to get everything as short as possible and remove as much debris from the lawn surface as we possibly can. After all of that's done, that's when we actually start the process of pretending that it's spring.
That's phase 1. That's the first step of cleanup right there. Now we're going to push into the next tasks on the list.
Now the next step to the process, I don't care where you live, what grass type you have, what season it is, you have to make sure that your grass is not dormant. For this project, we were looking to get things out of winter dormancy. You could also be doing the same thing for summer dormancy. If you've got summer dormancy, you've got to give it water, you got to wait for temperatures to cool down. Grass will not die off if it's dormant, or at least it won't die off efficiently. For this project, we ended up tenting the lawn with greenhouse plastic. The greenhouse plastic warmed the grass up, it warmed the soil up, it got everything growing, it got everything under the plastic, thinking that it was much later in the year than it actually was. From February 27th to middle of March, everything turned green and started growing way before all of the neighbors' lawns did.
All right, it's March 14th here at the project lawn. Actively killing the grass. I got to check the soil temperatures. That plastic has been on most of the lawn. The wind has blown it off a couple times. I've had to put it back. It's been on for mostly a couple weeks now. So I'm going to go ahead and check the temperatures, but I already see a lot of green right in there. So it's probably growing under the plastic. You see all that green under there? All right, so I'm going to get ready to apply glyphosate around this area. I'm going to apply it everywhere, but mostly over here is what I'm concerned about right now, because this hedge butts up against the side of the yard and this play structure. I want to protect the hedge. There's not a lot of leaf tissue lower near the ground area. But with bushes and shrubs, glyphosate can damage them, especially if it gets onto unprotected bark, or I should say unprotected trunk zones and leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and line the bottom of the entire hedge with some plastic. Eventually I'm going to get around to applying glyphosate over here. These are well-established trees, and the bark will protect the trees from the glyphosate application, so that's not nearly as important. Also, I haven't been warming that up the way that I should be. Hopefully the application will kill this zone regardless. I find these strips tend to wake up more than the lawn. Look across the street. See that strip right there is all green, but yet it's brown in the lawn. That's kind of my goal. That's kind of my hope over here, but currently it's only greening up over here. We'll see how it goes. All right, this thing's been in the ground for a bit, and we're sitting about 56 degrees, which isn't so bad. My main lawn at my house without plastic has been around 49 to 50. So everything under here is definitely a lot warmer, and it's retaining heat through the night, so it doesn't cool off quite the same way. My guess is everything under this plastic is pretty green. So I'm gonna rip it off in a couple days, give it a very light trim, and then start applying the first round of glyphosate. All right, guys, let me jump in here. I already killed this lawn off last year with glyphosate. Make sure to watch this video right up here in the corner. It is the entire process, the how-to, my experience doing it to this exact lawn here at Phil's lawn. I'm about ready to kill off, or as you can tell, I'm already killing off this parkway strip. There's going to be videos here in the future about that kill and what comes next here on the channel. Hit subscribe. Make sure to watch this video up here about how to kill a lawn off with glyphosate next. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys in the comments and all of the videos in the future.